In 1961, one man pulled off what the world thought was impossible, escaping a secret Arctic prison that officially didn't exist. But what came next was worse than prison. This is the story of a forgotten soldier hunted by the cold, the wild, and even his own past. Our story begins not in Siberia, but in Novaya Zemlya, an Arctic island used by the Soviets during the Cold War. 2. Hide a prison that officially wasn't there. Here, prisoners weren't criminals. They were people who knew too much. Scientists, soldiers, spies, and among them, one man named Erik Brandt, a former East German pilot who had tried to defect to the West. For that, he was buried in this frozen ghost zone. 2,000 kilometers from the nearest town, Erik had been here for 6 years, surviving harsh labor, polar storms, and the mental torture of isolation. The rules were simple: no fences, no guards on the perimeter, just snow in every direction. To escape, you freeze. But Erik wasn't broken. He was planning, watching, learning. And when a Soviet cargo plane made a supply drop during a whiteout, Erik made his move. He disguised himself using a dead worker's coat, slipped out with the returning snow tractor convoy, and vanished into the tundra. Now, alone in the Arctic, with a stolen compass, dried fish, and one flare, Erik moved west. His only hope, reaching Murmansk, a port city that might offer a ship to freedom, but nature didn't welcome him. Within a week, blizzard buried his supplies. He fell into a crevasse, broke 2 ribs, and fended off a starving polar fox. Days turned into weeks. Just when Erik was ready to give up, he stumbled across an abandoned Soviet weather outpost. Inside, one broken radio, 2 cans of meat, and incredibly a map hope. He followed the frozen river south, a natural road. Through the icy hell on day 21, he met a wandering reindeer herder named Ilari, who nursed Erik back to strength. But when Soviet patrols came asking questions, Ilari betrayed him for vodka and fuel. Erik barely escaped, stealing a snowmobile in the night. Wounded, hungry, and hunted, he headed toward the White Sea. That's when the hallucinations began. He saw his dead brother guiding him through the forest, his daughter calling his name in the wind. One night, after crashing through thin ice, Erik found himself face to face with a starving bear. With nothing but a flare gun, he fired. It worked. The bear fled. But the flare lit up the sky and alerted a Soviet scout team nearby. For 2 days, they tracked him. Erik finally reached Murmansk's outskirts, where he disguised himself as a ship worker. He snuck aboard a Norwegian fishing trawler headed to the Barents Sea. But on board was another spy, a Soviet agent pretending to be crew. The man recognized Erik. A fight broke out in the freezing night. Erik barely survived, knocking the agent overboard. When the boat reached Norway, Erik collapsed on the dock. It had been 43 days since he escaped. He was half dead, but he was free. Years later, Erik reunited with his daughter in West Berlin. The world never knew what he endured. Prison never officially existed. And Erik Brandt's story became nothing more than a whisper in the Cold War winds, until now. If this story blew your mind, smash that like button and subscribe. So we're just getting started with these insane survival stories from history's darkest corners. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching.